Hello, everybody. I'm Debbie Overly, and I am one of the distance learning teachers here at BJU Press Digital. Over the years, I've taught several of the elementary writing and grammar courses, and our big topic today is communication. So I want to share some thoughts about that, specifically in the area of written communication. So the title for this session is Put Pen to Paper, Teaching the Power of Writing. Since we are talking about communication, we'll start with the definition. The Oxford English Dictionary defines communication as the imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. So it's the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings. So today, we're going to focus on the critical and sometimes dreaded area of writing and grammar. So from the start, we're going to be honest, writing is work, and it's usually harder work than most people want to do, particularly if they don't see its importance. One writer actually said that anyone who says writing is easy isn't doing it right. Well, today, I hope to be able to convince you of the importance of writing for your child if you aren't already convinced. And I also want to share some helpful ideas as you work with your child. And if you just need some encouragement, I hope we can do that as well. If we were together in person and you were to ask me, why does my child need to learn to write good sentences and paragraphs? Why book reports, stories, and even poetry? Just how important is it? It's hard work. Well, I would say, and the simplest answer is that it goes back to the definition that I just shared. Your child needs to learn to become a better communicator. You've probably heard the saying, it's not what you say, but how you say it. And my mother used to say that to me, and she was addressing my speech. But this applies to writing as well. We could say, it's not what you write, but how you write it. It's interesting that in this technological age with electronic devices of all sizes, including that ever-present smartphone, and that might suggest that the grammar and writing are less important in our communication. But in fact, the opposite is true. Since we are increasingly exposed to more written text than ever, like online articles and blogs and news and social media posts, and of course, phone texts, lots of people can see and then also share what we write. So it's not only what's being written that's important, but it's also how and how well. So first, I want to try to answer the question, why does my child need to learn to write? And then, how can I help him to accomplish that goal without both of us feeling overwhelmed? I'm going to give you some reasons, and I challenge you to think carefully about each one. So first, why does my child need to learn to write? Well, writing develops the ability to communicate accurately, clearly, and effectively so that he can convey a meaningful message. Words have meanings, and how we use our words is important. God gave us the gift of language, written and spoken, to exchange our ideas and feelings accurately and well. So as your child is learning to write clear sentences and paragraphs, he is acquiring the tools he needs to communicate effectively through his written words. The second reason is actually just an extension of the first, and that is that writing allows us to explain our ideas to others, and this is a critical skill. Writing fosters our ability to explain and refine our ideas to other people and even to ourselves. And the third reason that our children need to learn to write is that others evaluate our communication in writing. I'm going to spend a few minutes here because it's really a fact that we shouldn't overlook. I want to share some of what I found about the importance of writing in the workplace. So teaching our children to write, starting in the elementary grades, provides a foundation that they can build on as they move into high school and beyond. And that beyond actually includes job and college applications, as well as in whatever career they pursue. In the workplace, promotions and other opportunities are very often given to people who can write well. One article that was published just last month addressed this idea, and it stated that no matter what type of work you do, good grammar is relevant for all organizations, and it can make a big difference in your career path. And it said, if job hopefuls can't distinguish between two and two, and that's T-O and T-O-O, their applications go into the trash. Again and again, managers complain about employees not knowing how to write a correct English sentence. And here's another statement on the importance of good writing in business. And it says, good writing is what companies and organizations expect. They are key assets which help you to land a good job, meet more professionals, and allow you to reach goals. People who write better are much better at communication. Since we're living in a highly advanced world where most of the communication happens on text or email, it's essential to know how to put your words across. And then when a worker writes well, he or she demonstrates courtesy, attention to detail, and intelligence. In addition, employees who have good written communication skills benefit their company by ensuring quality communication with clients, prospects, and other outside interests. So when an email or a letter or a text message is well written, well organized, and grammatically correct, the reader will form a good opinion of the writer. Let me just share one more. This is interesting. Businesses are spending billions each year on remedial writing training. And in a modern workplace that requires employees to spend hours each day sending emails, writing reports, and interacting with clients, weak writing skills can be a major hindrance to business growth. Not to mention the damage that poor writing skills can do to public perceptions of a business's brand. Recent research proves that written communication skills are at the top of employers' wish lists. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, 73.4% of employers want a candidate with strong communication skills. So, not only will those solid writing skills allow your child to learn to express his ideas accurately and meaningfully to others, but it also will help your child in any profession. And these should be very strong motivations. However, I probably know what you're thinking right now. Your elementary age child isn't applying for college, for jobs, or promotions. Is your child 6 or 7 or 8 years old? Well, that means that he's at the foundational stage of learning to write good sentences and paragraphs. So here are some very important reasons that your child needs to learn to write or to improve his writing. Improving writing will improve thinking. And this is from a grammar blog that I read. And it said that Pulitzer Prize winner David McCullough said, writing is thinking. To write well is to think clearly. That's why it's so hard. It's through writing that we exercise our ability to think. They're not separate tasks. Great writing requires observation, reflection, analysis, and an artful presentation of information, in addition to selecting information in the editing process. By improving your writing, you can improve your thinking. And then, along these very same lines, we know that writing develops critical thinking skills. What is critical thinking? We hear about it all the time. Well, it's actively and skillfully conceptualizing and applying and analyzing information that has been gathered. So writing improves the thinking process, and it contributes to the development of critical thinking skills because a student has to clearly state his ideas and his arguments. And not only does writing develop those critical thinking skills, but also, and I think this is very interesting, writing improves how you learn. Writing improves conceptual learning, and studies have shown that the recursive, and that means each step feeding into the next step, the recursive and the reflective nature of the writing process contributes to student learning. So learning to write enables a student to communicate accurate, meaningful messages, and it prepares them to enter and succeed in the workplace. And right now, The process of learning to become a good writer helps your student to become a better thinker, continue to develop those critical thinking skills, and it also helps him to improve how he learns. So what is the best approach to accomplish this goal? Well, it's two-pronged, and that is grammar and writing. First, I want us to think about grammar as the system of rules and principles of speaking and writing any language. Grammar lays the groundwork for effective communication. It is the foundation of communication. So whether spoken or written, when we improve our grammar, our message becomes clearer and more easily understood. And then similarly, that grammar provides the structure for us to be able to express ourselves. So learning how words function in a sentence and understanding that even that correct punctuation is going to affect meaning, that strengthens the ability to communicate our written messages. Grammar aids in learning correct patterns in writing, and it encourages that clear and effective writing. So all that to say, and I want you to remember this, is that we learn grammar so that we can write well. That's the purpose of grammar. And then remember again that clear and effective writing allows your child to convey a meaningful message. So when your child learns to write strong sentences and paragraphs, he is acquiring the tools he needs to communicate effectively through his written words. Now, I want to give you a few ideas, some examples of some different types of writing projects that will help your child to learn some important writing skills. First of all, book reports. Why do we need to write book reports? This is what a book report does. Well, it enables your child to practice summarizing a plot and also to learn to give his opinion in a thoughtful way. So a student learns that in order to convince his reader when he gives his opinion, he needs to provide reasons because his opinion won't carry any weight if it isn't supported by reasons. And then another example is essays. Why write essays? Well, an essay helps a child to develop the ability to write paragraphs that have logical organization. To learn about topic sentences, which tell about the main idea of a paragraph. What about something like poetry? Why poetry? Why do we have our children write simple poems? Well, poetry allows the student to practice choosing just the right words to express an idea. I think it's important. They learn to use a thesaurus, and learning to use a thesaurus helps him to be able to make more descriptive word choices, and it helps him to learn to express his ideas in interesting ways. So he also learns to create sound and rhythm with words, and that will enhance the feel and the appeal of the poem. Those are just a few examples. And now that you are thoroughly convinced of the importance of your child learning to become a better communicator through grammar and writing, let's just talk briefly about what makes BJU Press writing and grammar effective. Well, the BJU Press Elementary Writing and Grammar Program provides a solid foundation that will give your child the tools he needs to be successful and also to carry over into other academic areas in life. And this program is set up in a way that is one of the most useful and helpful things for your student. And that is first, that grammar chapters alternate with writing chapters to provide a strong link between these two areas and also to provide immediate application. So BJU Press teaches grammar concepts in a similar order on each grade level, deepening and expanding your students' understanding and ability to use grammar correctly in each grade. And the grammar chapters will help your student to learn to recognize and fix problems in their writing, and then the writing chapters, which follow, are where students focus on different types of writing projects, and we have this alternating pattern. And so they alternate with the grammar chapters so that the student can apply their grammar knowledge. And alternating chapters also does something important. It enhances variety for your student. This pattern allows students to see grammar as the tool that's going to help them to become better writers, better communicators. And then second, writing is taught through the writing process. What is the writing process, you may ask? Well, the writing process is just the stages or the steps that a writer follows as he writes. So the students learn these steps: planning, drafting, revising, proofreading, and publishing, one at a time, and the steps build to complete each writing project. At each step or stage, your child has a specific task or job to complete before moving to the next stage, and then he's guided through each one of these stages. Also, this is very helpful for your child. Your child will work on his own writing only after each new element has been introduced and he's seen models or examples of what to do. And special attention is given to teaching your child how to plan effectively for different types of writing. So graphic organizers, which are different types of planning charts, are designed to help your child organize his ideas before a first draft is written. And let me show you some of those. This first one is a personal story planning chart where the student will have a place to write his topic sentence, list his details, and then he's going to write an ending sentence. This next one is a word web that is used to help plan the writing of a thank you note or a thank you letter. This third example is of a planning chart that is used for writing a personal story, or we call it sometimes a personal narrative, where students list the events and then the details and the dialogues to include when telling about the events. And then this last chart is used for planning a newspaper editorial. So these graphic organizers and planning charts are a huge help to students as they prepare to write a draft of each writing assignment. So alternating grammar and writing chapters and specific step-by-step instructions using the writing process make the BJU Press writing and grammar effective. And I want to close with this reminder. Writing is the platform used to inform or persuade and express an idea and create. And when your child learns to express a complete thought with a well-written sentence and then to build those strong paragraphs, he learns to use language effectively, expressing his ideas in a logical, thoughtful way. I also want you to think about the fact that God chose to reveal himself and his message through the written word. As his image bearers, each of us, our children included, should learn to communicate messages that matter so that they won't be misunderstood.